Welcome to a winning edition of Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade. The Vikings victorious over the Chicago Bears 29-22. My name is Gabe Henderson alongside Ben Leber. And Ben, we were just talking about how the game just ended. Cam Dantzler stole the ball away from Emir Smith-Marset, who was drafted by the Vikings a couple of years ago. He stripped him like he owed him money. I've never seen a walk-off by a cornerback ever since I've been covering the NFL. What were your thoughts on that last play of the game?
Well, first of all, you said you were nervous in that last drive.
I was very nervous.
Me, Viking fans, I wasn't nervous at all. I was fully confident that our defense was going to make the stops and make the plays. But you, my friend, you had some nerves in you.
I still got hair, though, so I think that's the main thing. But when Kirk Cousins threw that interception, the second to last drive of the game, I was worried that how are we going to bounce back? And we bounced back that last drive. 5 of 5 on third down. What did you see on that last drive offensively that stood out to you for this Vikings offense?
Well, we crushed it on third down. I don't think that we ever had a super long third down. Everything was like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. So I think that is meaningful where we're not having big time yards to gain in those situations. So I just thought that they were poised. The whole offense was just poised. There wasn't a lot of scrambling going on, at least the feeling for me on the sideline as I'm watching the game. It was surgical. It was methodical, very much like the game opened up with the first 3 drives by putting 21 points on the board. There was no hesitation, no panic from this team. I think that really matters. And head coach Kevin O'Connell talks about their grit and resilience. I think 5 games in, we definitely saw that throughout this game, and we saw that on the last drive.
But I feel like, I'm just going to be honest here. I feel like that grit and resilience is somewhat warranted because we were up 21-3, right? So you would say, okay, let's put our foot in their throats and let's continue to score on touchdowns or kick a field goal. The momentum shift right before the half. How did you assess, just how the first half ended for the Vikings? Coming off the first 2 drives where they scored 12-play touchdown drives.
Well, going back to the previous games, we were really good offensively at the end of the first half, which we talked about, which was a departure from the last season. So now all of a sudden we get into this game, we score 21, and then all of a sudden, we can't put the ball in the end zone. We are faltering at the end of the first half. They pick up all the momentum at the end of the first half, and then they continue that into the second half. So that's the adversity part that we're talking about. Not only is adversity sometimes how you handle success, which we didn't handle success after those first 3 drives, then it's about how you bounce back. And I thought they bounced back in a way that shows, championship caliber. That, again, there was never a panic. Obviously, they made some adjustments, the Chicago Bears. They went to a different safety look, a lot of single high safety early in the game. They brought another safety down in the run box because they thought we were going to run the ball so much. We were able to kind of pick them apart. Then in the second half, they went a little bit more too high safety look. So that means that we just have to dink and dunk our way down the field. We can't take some bigger shots. So good adjustment by them, but ultimately better adjustments by us.
Better adjustment by Kirk Cousins also in this game. If you rewind back to last week, getting on the plane after the London win, Christian Darrisaw put his chain on Kirk Cousins. And I feel like we saw a different Kirk Cousins to start the first half. 17 straight completions to start the game today. That's a Vikings franchise record. And then fast forward to the second and last drive, he extends a play or gets a first down conversion on a 3rd and 5. What were your thoughts on just his play today?
I thought he just looked crisp. You look at those 17 for 17s on the passing completions. Every time he got to the top of his drop, he had that little bounce to him, a little bounce, a little swagger to him.
Dance.
And everything was just quick. His eyes was like first read, second read, get the ball out. I don't think that he held the ball for more than 3 seconds on any one of those completions. He was decisive. He was accurate. He knew that all he had to do was just throw the ball to an open receiver and let those guys do all of the work. Don't try to do too much. And you couple that with, some running with from Dalvin and Madison, and you've got a perfect balance to this offense. They had rhythm. They used tempo as well. Second play of the game, they go up, no huddle. They use tempo, get to the line, assess the defense, bark out an audible, put your offense in the best situation. I thought for at least those 3 drives, they did a good job of getting the calls into him so he could get lined up and make the calls on the field.
Man, that's a really good point. Before we talk the running game, I got to give Justin Jefferson a shout-out. 12 receptions, 154 yards today. Somehow that's going to go –
Did they care about guarding him?
In the first half, I feel like they didn't.
Did they watch film of him before? I don't know.
But to your point, they made adjustments in the second half, and they I guess, limited Justin Jefferson to less than 50 yards in the second half, but Dalvin Cook got going in the second half. In my opinion, this was probably Dalvin Cook's best performance today. How would you assess the way he was able to get on the edges and run the ball today?
Well, not only on the edges, but he was able to kind of carve some runs on the inside part of the defense as well. He was just doing things that only Dalvin can do, and we talk about his vision, the way he's able to skate and sort of float through the defensive line. I thought he played phenomenal. I was still waiting for that one big pop, the one big home run hit. But like I said, in the second half, they changed their defensive philosophy. They went to more of a two safety look, which is really hard. I mean, it's hard in the passing game to really take the top off, and also it doesn't allow for a lot of home run hits on the ground because there's two outlets or two safeties in the back end of the defense that's going to stop those things. So we made the right adjustments, and Dalvin, he was doing Dalvin things.
Dalvin is going to do Dalvin things. Moving to the defensive side of the ball, we went up 21-3 on offense. Then the Bears scored 19 unanswered points. How would you assess this, I guess, bend but don't break defensive scheme for this Minnesota Vikings defense today?
I mean, it worked for, most of the first half. And I think, that we walked away with like 45 total yards given up in the first half. And then, obviously, they made some adjustments. We talk about it time and time again. I just don't think that we're blitzing the right way. I don't think that we're calling the pressures the right way and really executing some of the things and getting some of these guys free. We might be blitzing. We might be bringing a fifth guy, or we might be bringing a fifth guy and dropping a guy and still bringing a four-man rush. It's just not really working to the way we hope it to work. You want a free rusher when you sacrifice your defenders like that. Late in the game, I thought we did do a good job of that. They had a drive towards the end of the game where we called 3 run blitzes and stuffed them at the line of scrimmage. Not necessarily tackle for loss, but some short yardage gains. So we started to dial up a little bit more pressure. I just like to see that a little bit more so we're not bending all the time.
And I feel like a lot of that was due to Justin Fields, his athleticism also. I mean, sometimes when we blitzed him or we were able to get to the quarterback, Justin Fields just made Justin Field-type plays, spinning out of the pocket, using his 4.4 speed to get a first down. But at the same time, I do agree with you with trying to get more bends so you don't have to bend as much later in the game. But defensively, my last question for you for the defensive side of the ball is where do we go from here, right? We're at a point now where the Vikings are starting to get these close wins. The last few games have been close, in my opinion. I'm not sure why, because we should just blow these teams out. But how would you assess the way this defense is starting to progress and, I guess, hold when it really matters?
Well, I guess to your point about Justin scrambling.
Okay.
What's concerning is, and this is where I think it's going to help our defense, is our rush lanes aren't the most disciplined. Okay. Some of those times we had 4-man rushes with a little bit of a twist game going on, and we're just kind of stuck on the blocks. We're late with our eyes to get off of the blocks and make a play on the quarterback as he's kind of skating around inside the pocket. We have Kyler Murray coming up soon. We have Josh Allen coming up soon. After the bye week.
Those are next week. Possibly Tua.
And possibly Tua next week. And a little bit of Teddy Bridgewater if he's in there as well. We're going to face a lot of mobile quarterbacks in this league. So I think that not only do we have to pressure a little bit more, get a little bit more strategic about what types of pressures we're going to bring, but we have to do a better job when it comes to the rush lanes. If you're just going to rush 4 guys, those 4 guys have to count. Because 7 guys in coverage, the odds are you're going to cover up those guys. You're going to cover up those receivers. So you're going to have quarterbacks that are going to run. So those 4 guys up front got to do a better job.
Got to do a better job, but more importantly, this Vikings team is 4-1 heading into the Miami Dolphins game next week. Hopefully we get another win, but more importantly, Ben, I'm just going to enjoy this win.
Oh, heck yeah.
With the hair that I have in my head, so I'm not stressed as much anymore.
It's not going gray either. I think it's looking pretty good.
The hairline is pushing back a little bit, but we're going to push forward to the Miami Dolphins next week. For Ben Leber, my name is Gabe Henderson. Thank you again for tuning into another edition of Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade.
Skol!
Skol!